When I first started out flying drones over a decade ago, you were pretty much on your own when it came to educating yourself about the rules and regulations. Snobbish government organisations like CASA did themselves absolutely no favours at all by stubbornly retaining the jargon and impenetrable small print that constitutes flight regulations. It should have been no surprise to anyone that most consumer drone users, having just picked up a DJI Mini down at JB Hi-Fi, took one look at the walls of arcane bullshit masquerading as a rule sheet and said, nah, fuck that, and just sent it. I know I did. It was about 2 years after I got my first drone that someone sheriffed me on one of my Facebook posts and told me I had no business flying near that bloody grey H on the tarmac in Kiama. Fast forward to 2024, and CASA have slowly but surely simplified their messaging to drone users, but it's still ridiculously easy to fall foul of one rule or another and potentially land yourself a stupidly big fine. So thank the gods of the wind and the air that we now have excellent tools like OK2FLY at our disposal to demystify the doublespeak. Incidentally, the arsehole that sheriffed my photo pissed me off so much that I decided to read the entire Part 101 regulations and therefore to discover that actually I was perfectly within my rights to fly near that big H, given that there were no helicopters operating in the vicinity at the time. These days, it would be much easier to simply visit the OK2FLY website and use that to determine the legality of flying in specific locations. OK2FLY first launched 4 years ago at the height of the old pandemic, when the most interesting place most of us could fly our drones was the old back garden. It demystified the gobbledygook that CASA and the air services industries use and presented everything in an easily understood visual form. To find out if it's legal to fly where you are, you simply click on that location on the map and it tells you. More importantly, it doesn't just recite standing rules, it's updated in real time to show you whether, for instance, you're in an area of restricted airspace. Air Services Australia is the government department charged with issuing flight advisories, called NOTAMs, which detail potential hazards, temporary changes to facilities, services, procedures, regulations, and other aspects relevant to flight operations. These NOTAMs use very specific terminology, reference the coded regions of airspace above a country, and, just in case they weren't complicated enough, use the perplexing UTC Universal Time Standard. You can learn to decipher these NOTAMs. If you're doing a decent stretch inside, you might like to give it a go. But otherwise, the OK2FLY website does all the translations for you. When you click on a location, the sidebar will show all the pertinent NOTAM information in plain English and using local time rather than UTC. At the very top of the sidebar, you'll see clearly whether it's legal to fly your drone or not at that moment in time. The sidebar also includes other useful information such as the forecast and advisory information about local landmarks such as parks and reserves. If you're using OK2FLY to plan a future flight, then you can click on the hamburger menu, select flight time, and enter a date and time to see advisories for that point in the future. The 5.5 kilometre exclusion zone around airports is well known, but if you've got a sub 250 gram drone, you can fly within that 5.5k zone as long as you don't encroach upon arrival and departure paths. This is clearly indicated on the OK2FLY maps. If you zoom in on an airport, you can see those arrival and departure zones clearly indicated with no RPA to be flown in this area. RPA is what CASA insists on calling drones. In this latest version of OK2FLY, the developers have now added a live aircraft traffic display which shows any aircraft in the vicinity, along with a projected track for the path they're currently on. Unfortunately, the live aircraft display, along with some other cool new features such as automated airspace authorizations, are only available to paid subscribers. Subscription is $250 a year, which is expensive, but it is pitched primarily at commercial drone operators with official RIOC certifications who'll probably be able to write off as an expense against their tax bill. And to be honest, recreational drone owners don't really need the stuff behind the OK2FLY paywall anyway. It's the basic restricted airspace info that we need access to, and that is still freely available. This site's of particular interest, I believe, to international visitors who don't have a clue where or when they're allowed to fly their drones down under, and who might therefore find themselves starring in an unscripted episode of Border Security Australia with a plot twist that ends in a one-way ticket home. So if you're a drone flyer based here in Australia and you haven't acquainted yourself with OK2FLY, I strongly suggest you bookmark it in your web browser and download the iPhone or Android app versions. It's a great service, and all the stuff that's of most use to recreational drone users is free to access. It's precisely the sort of thing that the actual government should be producing, instead of insultingly childish animated cartoons about drone rules. Are you an OK2FLY user? Do you find it as useful as me? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you got value from this content, please hit the old like button and consider subscribing for more photo, video and drone related content from me. Till the next time, guys. Ta-ta.